Hey, my ADHD family. It is always so great to connect with you. I'm Yakini. I'm coming to you from ADHD Love. And today we are going to talk about why girls tend to be diagnosed much less than boys for ADHD. And why are they diagnosed much later in life? So I really think this is an important topic, mostly because if we are able to catch it early as parents, then we are able to hopefully put in the strategies in place or help them put the strategy in place that can not only help them during their school age years, but they can help them during college and maybe for the rest of their lives. I mean, there are life lessons, and I'm sure you experienced this, where I learned as a young kid, and I still remember those today and use those things today. So, as I am talking about why girls are not diagnosed with ADHD as much as boys, I'm going to be getting into different types of symptoms. So, I'm going to be getting into the symptoms that are typically connected to girls and others that are typically connected to boys. Now, keep in mind, this is a generalization. So, I may talk about some symptoms and you may say, no, my boy is really over here, and that is okay. The purpose of this video is really to talk about some of those symptoms that are generally connected to the girls that you can identify, so that way if a teacher is not identifying them, you can still ask the proper questions and start the conversation. I think it's really important to know because, again, catching it early as possible is very important. And some of those symptoms can be common with other disorders. So it may not be ADHD, but if you don't have the conversation at all, you can't understand how to help your child. Now, I did put some extra information in the comments section. If you're interested, definitely check those videos if you would like more in-depth information. Okay, so what does ADHD stand for? So ADHD means attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and your kids tend to fall under one of three types. Either you have your inattentive type, your hyperactivity impulsive type, or a combination. And what is really interesting, 11% of children are diagnosed with some type of ADHD. And if you think about it, that is a lot of children. And most of them are boys. Because, as we're going to discuss a little bit more, girls are not diagnosed as quickly as boys, right? So most of that 11% is going to be boys. Girls are diagnosed 2 to 3 times less than boys. Both may be having some type of educational difficulties. The difference is it's harder to see because girls are working so hard. They are overcompensating because they know they need to do better. They don't know why in their head they need to do better. All they know is that they need to do better. Of course, it doesn't help when you have a teacher that may say, you know, you have so much potential. You really just need to try harder and then you would get there. That is very difficult for a girl to hear. That is difficult for any child to hear, but especially those who know they want to do better, but again, just do not know why they are doing the things that they are doing. With girls, the symptoms are just not as apparent as it is with boys. So most likely you're just not going to recognize it today. But what happens with girls and why they get diagnosed later is that their symptoms start to become very apparent. When they are younger, they're in a very structured environment and their rules are set. They know what they need to do. But as they're getting to college, or if they do make it through college into the real world and starting that job, they do not have people watching over them. Yes, they have deadlines. Yes, they have projects that are given, but somebody is not going to watch over them day and night to make sure they get that work done. It is up to them. And that's when all of the evidence of ADHD starts to come out. So again, being able to catch that a lot earlier is going to be so beneficial to them later on in life. So when people connect to ADHD, they typically connect to boys because of their particular behavioral issues that they tend to display. And there are quite a few symptoms that we're going to talk about just to give you some idea in terms of the differences between the boys and the girls. So we're going to get into more of the social and behavioral differences between the two. With boys, they tend to be more external with their behaviors and their symptoms, and with girls, they tend to be more internal. Boys may be in your space and in your face, and they may use inappropriate language, where girls, they may be impulsive when it comes to talking. They may interrupt conversation, or they may talk a lot. They may be, because of that, they may be socially awkward, and they may even seem a little bit bossy. Boys may even jump on the table and run out of the room, run around the room. I mean, they just have all this energy. They may even fall out of the chair. Where girls, they may move a little bit, but they may, fidget in their chair a little bit. They may mess with their hair. Very commonly, they could just stare out of space or stare out the window and miss like 5 minutes of the lecture. When it comes to frustration, boys may yell and scream and fight, and they may get into arguments, where girls may internalize. You may see them crying or pouting or just, walking away upset. And because they tend to internalize more, later on they tend to be more anxious and depressed. In general, since girls are not recognized to have ADHD as quickly as boys are, and they're trying to handle those emotions, they also may deal with low self-esteem issues. And as I said, they may deal with the anxiety and depression. And those are the things that you need to watch out for, because again, and I probably said this a couple of times, the sooner that you are able to help them deal with some of those emotions and put strategies in place to help them deal with those emotions, the better off they are going to be in the long run. The bottom line is, when it comes to ADHD, boys tend to be different than girls, and girls tend to go unnoticed. So it's really important for you as the parent to be aware of these symptoms, and if they are experiencing these symptoms, to start having the conversation. So you may have the conversation with the teachers, just asking, are you experiencing the same things? And also having the conversation with the doctor. Now, these symptoms are across many other different types of disorders, so it could be something else and it could be nothing at all. But one thing it doesn't hurt is to actually talk about it and get tested. The only thing that they can say is, nope, your daughter is fine, and let's find another direction or another way to help her in school, for example. That is all I have for you today. If you like more information like this, please definitely like and subscribe. And please, if you have any comments or any experiences with your girls, or if you've recognized any symptoms, definitely share in the comments below. Again, this is a community and we can always learn from each other. All right, have a wonderful and blessed week, and I look forward to talking with you soon. All right, take care. Bye.